reducing the water, and fishes are going to die in that area. You will not get good quality fish. So now our objective is for this work lab is aimed to estimate dissolved oxygen level in the given water sample by Wrinkler method. There is one method and developed by Wrinkler. So we call it Wrinkler method. Now let us go. Introduction is the theory. The major inputs of dissolved oxygen to natural water are from atmosphere and photosynthesis reaction. I gave you example of Jalkumbhi. So what happens? It does two things. Another one is the photosynthesis. When these plants get sunlight during daytime, they release oxygen. So that process is known as photosynthesis. And at night, when there is no sunlight, they absorb the oxygen of the water. And that is known as respiration. They respire, सांस लेते हैं वो लोग. So when they respire, they take a lot of oxygen, and that is why many a times respiration becomes much more than photosynthesis. Why? Too much of cold, fog, sunlight is for limited period, so more is darkness. So respiration is more than photosynthesis, and that is why in those areas we are finding Jalkumbhi everywhere, right? Where the algae and the product also a form of it. पानी वाले जो पौधे हैं is high. The saturation of oxygen can occur. The solubility of oxygen in water depends on the temperature and other factors. बहुत अच्छा लाइन बोला इन्होंने. Very perfect line. If I am making tea, if you are making tea and then you are boiling the water, then what will happen? When the water temperature goes up, DO value goes down. That is why we have done in BOD, we have measured at 20 degree 5 days. So we should measure DO also at 20 degrees. If I am getting DO value at 25 degree, I should convert into 20 degree. Because in hilly area where there is a cold and the hot area in southern part of our India, where temperature is very high, so you will find a difference in DO values. But if you will convert at 20 degrees, you may get the same. When we make tea, we find that DO value is reducing of the too less for the boiling water, right? The presence of oxygen is essential for survival of aquatic life in water. The presence of oxygen is essential for the survival of aquatic life in water. A rapid fall of DO in river water is one of the first indication of pollution. DO is indicating the health of the river. Oximeter is indicating your health in your body system. It is necessary to know the DO level to assess quality of raw water and to keep a check on steam pollution. A minimum DO of 4 to 5 is desirable for survival of aquatic life. उससे कम होने पर मछली मर जाएगी. Water animals will die. Plants will die. Higher values of DO may cause corrosion of iron and steel. If iron is having more, so it will oxidize. इसीलिए if any rod or if you construct a building, your house, and if the roof, छत पर generally क्या होता है? Plaster is coming out. So you are finding a lot of rod is looking like it is exposed. And because of the oxygen, it will take place. और iron सड़ जाएगा तो 4 साल. DO test is used to evaluate the pollution strength of domestic and industrial waste. Wrinkler method क्या है? Now comes the method. Wrinkler method is the technique used to measure DO in freshwater structures. It is used as an indicator of health of a water body, where higher DO concentrations are associated with higher production and little contamination. So, good health and no contamination, no pollution. This test is performed on site. We go to the site and we perform it. In situ, आगे आप लोग यूज करेंगे IN-SITU. In situ measurement means I am going to the field, taking my DO meter and measuring it using Wrinkler's method. As delay between sample collection and testing may result in a variation in oxygen content. तो या तो BOD की तरह करना पड़ेगा हमें, ऑक्सीजन को use preservatives MnSO4 and alkali azide and then bring it to the lab and test the DO. This is what we do in BOD, but that is expensive, and with this meter you can go and find out. In this method of analysis, oxygen present in water sample oxidizes the divaliant manganese iron of its high valency. It is oxidizes the divalent manganese iron of higher valency, which precipitates as a brown hydrated oxide after addition of sodium hydroxide. What really we are doing? We are using manganese iron and sodium hydroxide. When we are adding it, we are finding in the water, we are finding, or of course the potassium iodide also. So three things again here we need some chemicals. Upon acidification, manganese reverts to divaliant state and liberates iodine from Ki equivalent to DO content in the sample. Very nice. So we first, what really we do? We use manganese ion high valency, and when we add sodium hydroxide and potassium iodide, first it precipitates, means coagulates, we find solid, we नीचे solid जम जाएगा. And when we do the acidification, we find that Ki has gone back. Ki is there, and the Ki iodine from the Ki equivalent to DO will remain. So Ki का जो DO की equivalent रहे. So that is why we can measure, consider this directly as DO value. Chemical process है, and this you can very well understand. The liberated iodine is titrated. उसका titration करते हैं using sodium thiosulfate, what we did in BOD also. Using freshly prepared 2% starch, उसमें starch भी मिला देते हैं. Both the things we did in BOD also in lab. The oxygen is so here, instead of MnSO4 and alkali azide, we are using NaOH and Ki. Other things are same. In manganese iron, we are using these things and then H2SO4. Bringing it, when we are making it, we get that we are getting the precipitate, नीचे solid जमा हो जाता है इन सब का. उसके बाद लैब में ला करके हम और starch मिला लेते हैं. If the oxygen is absent in the sample, the MnSO4 react with alkali to form the precipitate. If there is no oxygen, then we will find that manganese iron जो है MnSO4 था, it will react with the alkali, means NaOH, and then it will find the precipitate. Again we are finding the solids, but it will be of different color. Right? Now procedure. Here it will be more clear. Now you got it, that what really we need. We need BOD bottle, pipette, conical flask, butterate, burette, beaker, dropper, and spatula. Right? All these things are, you can see very well. Now, what really we will do is fill burette with sodium thiosulfate. This is filled and marked over here. We are filling it. Now surplus water is taken out. Now take 100 ml of 0.025 N potassium dichromate in a conical flask, 10 ml. So potassium dichromate we have taken it. Then add 2 ml of HCl. Here we are not using H2SO4. That is also acid, HCl. And 1 spatula of potassium iodide, 1 block of potassium iodide powder. Right? So flask. So we 2 ml plus potassium iodide in the same conical flask. Means conical flask in which we had taken up the potassium dichromate. So potassium dichromate added with the HCl and potassium iodide. Then add 2 ml of, this is the same thing. Now once we added, this is the spatula of this potassium iodide. Now what is the normality? Now what really we can do is, then after that we do the titration, because we had sodium thiosulfate and this is the solution. So we can do the titration, and before titration or during the titration we can add 2 ml of starch. The agent, when the color of the solution changes to pale yellow. Same in BOD, when it starts this slow light color of yellow, then we make the added the starch and it becomes colorless. First it will be blue once we add the starch, and then thereafter it will be colorless, either in BOD or here. Do. Then we close the knob and then we can titrate the sample, what we have discussed. So initial burette reading was that. So once earlier the color was like this before the starch is added, and prior to that the color was this, deep yellow. Now after doing some exercise, sodium thiosulfate, it becomes light yellow. And at this point, we added starch. Once you will add starch, it will become blue. And then start putting sodium thiosulfate slowly, drop by drop. And you will find it becomes light, is the value of DO. So first burette reading was 0 and final burette reading was 9.8. Okay, and this was the sample. Now you will find this is colorless. So now what observations we made? We made this observation, the normality of potassium dichromate is 0.025. This we have to remember. Then volume, it is taken as 10 ml. Burette reading was this and final reading was this. Of sodium thiosulfate which was used was 9.8. Now we can find out the normality of the sodium thiosulfate. The formula which is explained earlier, we discussed earlier. Now what really we have to do? Fill the BOT bottle with sample water up to the bottom brim. Now we should, so what we have done so far, we have not used the sample water. We have used the potassium and sodium and all different chemicals and did the analysis to find out the normality. Once we got that, then what really you will doing? You are using the, take the sample, immediately add 2 ml of MnSO4. This is what we do in BOD also, right? Then alkali azide, if you are bringing it to the laboratory, so these two things you have added. This is what we have done in BOD also, MnSO4 and alkali azide. Now once you added, mix the sample by inverting BOD water several times and allow the precipitate to settle down at the bottom. तो आपने DO को कंट्रोल कर दिया और उसको आप लॉक करके and you brought it to the laboratory. Now H2SO4 add करिए आप. This is, and once you added this H2SO4, it will start, once it becomes acidic, then it will dilute it. Precipitate बन गया था solid, वो सारा मिक्स हो जाएगा फिर, और मिक्स हो जाएगा फिर उसके बाद हमारा सोडियम थायोसल्फेट डालेंगे और धीरे धीरे लाइट येलो हो जाएगा. Then we will put a starch, blue हो जाएगा, and then we will again start doing sodium thiosulfate, and it will become colorless. So this is the total process. And here you see light color. Then we will add starch, and then once we starch is added, it becomes blue, and then we are now. So now volume we have taken. Why it is 201? Because 200 plus we have taken 1 ml of what we took initially. Anybody who will reply? So what really we took here? Initially when we were taking, I told you that 200 ml conical flask, and then we added initially. Anybody who will tell? Here it is given. What we added? MnSO4. Initially we added MnSO4, right? So now come to this point, this observation table. This observation table is saying that normality of sodium thiosulfate solution is 10. How we got it? We got it when we did, I will repeat the same experiment again. When we did the normality test of sodium thiosulfate with the potassium iodide and dichromate, potassium dichromate, and so many other chemicals, we found out the normality of sodium thiosulfate. And each time variety of sodium thiosulfate, that you can do it in the laboratory itself. Then you go to the field, collect the sample, add MnSO4, add alkali azide, shake it, and you will find it is settling down. DO हमने preserve कर दिया. When you bring it now, उसको आप लेके आइए यहाँ पर लैब में, उसमें H2SO4 डाल दीजिए, फिर वापस मिक्स हो जाएगा. मिक्स हो जाएगा. Then यहाँ पर we know that the normality of the sodium thiosulfate, so it should be 10. If it is not, try to bring it to 10. Then start doing it. पहले light yellow होगा, then we will put the stars, then deep blue color हो जाएगा, and then start, we will keep on doing, throwing the putting the sodium thiosulfate, so it will become colorless, and that value is 6.7. Then we did to find out the normalization of sodium thiosulfate, it was 9.8. That's why it is taking 10. Zero, first reading was 0 and final reading was 9.8. So that is why it is approximately 10. So normality of sodium thiosulfate, we have already observed it, it is 10. So now here volume of sodium thiosulfate is 6.7. And sodium thiosulfate, when we are getting it, it is equivalent to the dissolved oxygen, and we can find out. What is your inference? First, let me finish and then we will repeat this, because DO and BOD are very important. Acceptable limit of dissolved oxygen in water is 4 milligrams per liter to 7 milligrams per liter. Water with dissolved oxygen less than 4 milligrams per liter is extremely harmful to drink. The water sample given has a dissolved level 6.84 milligrams per liter. So it is in the BIS, Bureau of Indian Standards. BIS is Bureau of Indian Standards range for drinking water. So here we got, it is 6.7, and when we are transforming this, we are transforming the sodium thiosulfate with the dissolved oxygen. There is a formula. Then we will get, comes the pre-test and post. Let me repeat this once again. What happens? How we got 6.7? How we got that 6.7 as .84? I will tell you now, because the reading of sodium thiosulfate was 6.7 and DO value is 6.84. How come? Now let us see. Again, I am repeating. Please see it. It has two parts. Part 1 is we are using sodium thiosulfate, right? So when we are using sodium thiosulfate, we should know its normality, and its normality comes out to be 9.8. उसको निकाला पहले मैं, और the solution which was part 2, the solution which we are using with this sample, in that we have taken the sodium thiosulfate of normality 10. 6.7 into 10 divided by 9.8 will give you 6.838, something like that. It means 6.384, right? So now we will see that. Part A, process. That is a Winkler method. Part A, in this part A, what really I am doing is, we are taking sodium thiosulfate, and we do not know its normality. I have to find out the normality of this sodium thiosulfate first, which will be 9.8. How we get 9.8? We do not know the sodium thiosulfate normality. Now, for knowing this, I have filled it up, and in this flask, I will take some chemicals. And then one chemical is potassium dichromate. Another potassium is chemical is HCl and potassium iodide. These three things are put together. One is 10 ml, which is having the normality 0.025 N. I am taking this potassium dichromate 10 ml, HCl 2 ml, and potassium iodide 1 ml. One spatula, one packet powder, right? I have taken all these three, mixed them together, and we get yellow color. Is it clear? Potassium iodide, potassium dichromate, and HCl. We mix them and it becomes yellowish color. One was 10 ml, one is 2 ml, and one is one spatula, potassium iodide. Once we mix these three, then what will happen? Then we start pouring this. Now we start putting this sodium thiosulfate, start mixing in it. Becomes light yellow. Then we add starch, it becomes a deep blue. Then we again start sodium thiosulfate, colorless. So this is the process, and with this we will come to know the of this potassium thiosulfate. तो हमने तीन मिक्स कर लिया, पोटेशियम डाइक्रोमेट, पोटेशियम आयोडाइड एंड HCl. मिक्स करने के बाद येलो कलर हो गया. देन हमने इसमें 0 रीडिंग था हमारा सोडियम थायोसल्फेट का, उसमें धीरे धीरे डालना शुरू कर दिया, तो लाइट येलो कलर हो गया. लाइट येलो हो गया तो हमने स्टार्च डाल दिया, तो ब्लू कलर हो गया. और उसके बाद फिर हमने सोडियम थायोसल्फेट डालना शुरू कर दिया जब तक कलरलेस ना हो जाए. तो हमें इससे 9.8 मिल गया वॉल्यूम ऑफ Na2H2O3 solution. Final value minus initial value, and that is the normality. Okay, so this is all we did, and once we are done with this, तो जो BOD में हमने लगाया था कि अब हम now we will take this sample. मेरे घर से किया, आपके घर से किया, या ट्यूबवेल से किया, या रिवर से किया. We collected that, we put MnSO4 and alkali azide वहीं पर फील्ड में प्रिजर्व कर दिया, वो प्रेसिपिटेट बन जाएगा, it will settle down. And then we come to our office, institute, and then you add H2SO4. डालने से फिर वापस वो मिक्स हो जाए. Then same process. Sodium thiosulfate, known normality. Normality should be known. So same repeated, and we started doing it. It becomes light yellow. Then we are putting and then once it starch is mixed, it becomes blue, and then still we will keep on doing. So we were knowing the normality. Earlier we observed the normality 9.8. That is why in this 6.7, we multiply with 10 and divide it by 9.8. That will give us value of dissolved oxygen. This is the process for measuring the dissolved oxygen. I think I have made it very clear, and you know it is little bit complex. So each of you are going to have this presentation of DO, BOD, all other parameters. So you can do it whenever your institute is opening, college is opening, you go and do this analysis. Now, go to another one, that is turbidity. Turbid. वाटर बड़ा गंदा दिखता है. क्यों गंदा दिखता है? बिकॉज उसमें सस्पेंडेड सॉलिड बहुत है, कलर बहुत है, smell is there. So we need to find out, and there is a turbidity meter, right? So we also call it nephlometer. Okay, so determining the turbidity of a given water sample using nephlometer. This is very important parameter, turbidity. आपको गंदा पानी दिया जाएगा, आप नहीं पी पाएंगे, लेकिन द नींबू पानी जिसमें चीनी भी होती है, नींबू भी होता है और शरबत हो, तो देन यू विल ड्रिंक इट. ऑफ कोर्स इट इज टर्बिड. और टर्बिडिटी मीन्स व्हाट? लाइट इज नॉट एबल टू पास. सिंपल है. स्पेक्ट्रोमीटर से यूज करते हैं, स्पेक्ट्रोफोटोमीटर. वी आर सेंडिंग डिफरेंट लाइट्स एंड इफ इट इज नॉट एबल टू पास, ट्रांसपेरेंट नहीं है नींबू पानी, फिर भी हम पीते हैं ना, इट इज टर्बिड बिकॉज वी नो व्हाट इज देयर इनसाइड. बट जो ड्रेन का पानी है, नाले का पानी, नदी का पानी हम नहीं पीते ना, पीला. Right? So it is a transparency, it is a light which is going below and coming back. So now, theory. Turbidity is a measure of degree at which the water loses its transparency. The presence of these suspended particles. है ना? नींबू पानी में भी वही होता है, शरबत में भी होता है, कोल्ड ड्रिंक में भी वही होता है. So it is not able to see other side. The amount of total suspended solids in the water is high, then that water sample has high turbidity. Turbidity ज़्यादा होगी तो एक और चीज होगा. If the turbidity is more, electrical conductivity is also more. There are various parameters influencing the turbidity, cloudiness of the water. Other parameters. क्योंकि कोल्ड ड्रिंक में तो नहीं होता सस्पेंडेड सॉलिड्स, बट कोल्ड ड्रिंक इज ऑल्सो नॉट विजिबल, नॉट ट्रांसपेरेंट. Plants. So there are various parameters influencing the turbidity, cloudiness of the water. Some of these are algae growth, जलकुंभी, फाइटोप्लैंक्टन, पानी के अंदर जो छोटे छोटे पौधे होते हैं, घास होते हैं, और स्पेशली समुद्र में तो बहुत ज्यादा होते हैं. सेडिमेंट्स फ्रॉम इरोजन, नदी का पानी बरसात में पूरा टर्बिड होता है. रीसस्पेंडेड सेडिमेंट्स फ्रॉम द बॉटम, जब आप कहीं पर नदी में जाते हैं, किसी गंदी जगह पैर पड़ जाता है तो पूरा मिट्टी पानी में आ जाता है ना. स्पेशली समुद्र के किनारे, जब व्हेन वी गो देयर एंड व्हेन वी टेक बाथ, वी फाइंड दैट इट हैज बिकम डर्टी. व्हेन सम पर्सन इज कमिंग इन द रिवर, यू फाइंड इट हैज बिकम येलोइश, बिकॉज जो सेटल्ड था मिट्टी वो वापस आ गया. वेस्ट डिस्चार्ज, जो हम नाले का पानी डालते हैं, एंड अर्बन रन ऑफ. शहर जब बारिश होती है, देन ऑल द वाटर गोज एंड देन इट इज ऑल्सो बिकमिंग very very dirty, and it looks highly turbid. Now what is the guideline? What is the guideline? How much turbidity is allowed? How much turbid water you can drink? So not more than 5 NTU, that is the unit. And this water should not be supplied. When the water is chlorinated, वाटर में क्लोरीन डाल देते हैं हम लोग, स्पेशली स्विमिंग पूल में डालते हैं, पीने के पानी में डालते हैं क्लोरीन। क्लोरीन क्या करता है? व्हाट क्लोरीन डज? क्लोरीन क्या? So that is why we chlorinate the water, and its turbidity should be less than 5. And if the turbidity is less than 1, then chlorination is effective. That is why in swimming pool it is very effective, because turbidity, there is no turbidity, almost zero turbidity. And then chlorination is very useful. And that is why if you go there, you do swimming, you may not have infection, bacterial infection, because a lot of chlorine is placed. But chlorine changes your color of your skin. You will become dark, tinted हो जाएगा आपका color, right? So now measuring turbidity, how will we measure it? We have so many instruments, turbidity meter, right? We have electronic instruments. So turbidity can be measured using either an electronic turbidity meter or a turbidity tube. In tube में क्या करते हैं? Test tube होते हैं, उसमें we put the samples and we place it. So both methods have advantage and disadvantage as shown below. Both are. One is electronic and another one is electronic. We are passing the light, and turbidity meter we are passing again waves, rays. Turbidity is usually measured in nephelometric turbidity unit (NTU) or Jackson turbidity units. Nephelometric NTU, right? So you remember NTU, and if someone is asking you in exams, then you can write nephelometric or Jackson. So depending on the method used for measurement, the two units are roughly equal. JTU is measured with the Jackson candle turbidity meter, and this unit is no. So that is why we are nowadays, every time we are using, what year we are using? We are using NTU, nephelometric unit, turbidity unit, right? Now, the suspended solid in water absorb heat from the sunlight, making the temperature of turbid water higher, and the reducing the concentration of O2 in the water as oxygen dissolves better in lower temperature, right? So suspended solids in water absorbs heat from sunlight. Suspended solids, जो पत्थर होगा, जो आपके अर्बन एरिया है, बिल्डिंग्स हैं, they are receiving more heat. So same thing, if pure water is there and water with sediment is there, of course the sediment will be warmer. That water is going to be more warmer, and more warmer means less oxygen. Cold water will have more oxygen. Normal water will have, pure water will have more oxygen. Turbid water will have less oxygen. It will have a high temperature. Water higher, and therefore reducing the concentration of O2. I to give you an example of making tea. So same here. कोई भी पानी गंदा होगा तो ज्यादा गर्म होगा, क्योंकि सनलाइट पड़ेगा तो उसका पार्टिकल जो है वो गर्म होगा जल्दी, वाटर नहीं होगा. So that is why pure water will have more oxygen. So concentration of O2 in the water as oxygen dissolves better in lower temperature. So lower the temperature, better DO values. Higher the temperature of water, less the DO. हमने आपको एग्जांपल दिया था अभी, ठीक है, चाय बनाने वाला. When we make a cup of tea, then water is heated and oxygen is less. Now suspended solids in water scatter the light. Example, when I drive a car or when I wear chashma, specs, and I drive at night, if there are some dust particles over the glass, a lot of scattering will be there. Same is the suspended. Same is the desert area. In Registan, हमको लगता है पानी पानी है, because of the scattering of the light. So suspended solid in water scatter the light falling on it, thus decreasing the photosynthesis activity of plant and algae. So it is going out, scattering is there, तो अंदर आ ही नहीं रहा है पानी, sunlight. So if sunlight is not coming, then photosynthesis is reduced, which results in lower oxygen concentration. So two ways. One is the suspended solid receiving the heat, so it is reducing the dissolved oxygen. Second one is suspended solids reflects, scattering is there, So it will send back the lights. So if the sunlight is not there to the plants, it will not be able to go for the photosynthesis process. So again, DO is reduced. Therefore, particles settling to the bottom, shallow lakes fill is faster. Fish eggs and insects larvae are converted and suffocated. So because the area is clogged, right? So all the things are, if they are settled at the bottom, it is creating real issue. Now procedure. We have to find out the turbidity. So how can we do so? When you click on turbidity in water, we have to take hydrazine sulfate in a beaker and measure it to 1 gram. Hydrazine sulfate is not a liquid, so we have to take 1 gram of it. Here it is, and we can take 1 gram of what? Hydrazine sulfate. Once we have taken, then add 100 milliliter of ml of distilled water. So we added some water in it and we mixed it. Take hexamethyl tetramine in a beaker, and then 10 grams we should take hexamethylene tetramine, methylene tetramine, and then 10 grams we take the 10 grams of it, hexamethylene tetramine, we take it. Then you add in that 100 ml of distilled water. So we have two sets. Mix 5 ml solution 1 and 5 emulsion of solution 2. We have two solutions, right? And mix those two and in a flask and let it be there for 24 hours at 25 degrees. Now we will take the mixed solution in nephrometer tube. This is the nephrometer tube. This is very important to find out the turbidity. Now power the nephrometer by clicking on power button, and then place the sample cell in the with the distilled water in the nephrometer. Calibrate nephrometer. Now we have to calibrate it because we have standardized, we have taken two different chemicals and we have added with the distilled water. Now we have solution 1, we have solution 2, equal amount is taken in the nephrometer, and then we are calibrating the nephrometer, placing it in there, and then we are calibrating. Now place the sample cell with the distilled water in nephrometer and set reading to 0 by adjusting. And now we can make this. Every instrument I am telling you since last 2 days that every instrument should be calibrated first. Now place 100 NTU calibrated standard in the sample holder and adjust calibrate knob to set the reading to 100. Now, so first we have set it to 0, and then we know that 100 value calibrated sample is with me. So we place it and reading is made 100. Now any sample, because our instrument is ready to measure the NTU, the turbidity between 0 to. So now take the water sample, place it and go for the reading. So now 41.6 NTU, you got the reading. Now what is, we have two water samples. One water sample has 41.6 and turbidity of water sample 2 is 0.2. Which one? Which we have measured as 0. So that is giving you some value. When we mixed the known samples and we set it to 0, now we are getting its value 0.02. So that is a small error. Now acceptable limit of turbidity in water is below 1 NTU. 1 NTU. Since water sample 1 is taken has turbidity 41.6, which is greater than the acceptable limit, so it is not suitable for drinking. The water sample 2 has 0.02 NTU, which is in the acceptable limit, so it is suitable for drinking. So we take two water samples and we observe that one is suitable and one is not suitable. But before we use nephrometer, we have to calibrate. And I will repeat it again. I will repeat the experiment again so that it is better understood by you. One is, in one bottle, we take the hydrazine sulfate, 1 gram, and we mix it with the 10 gram of distilled water. So, hydrazine sulfate, solution 1. Second one is hexamethyl lenetetramine. Hexamethyl lenetetramine. So, this we have taken in the other beaker, and this is solution 2. We made again 10 distilled water, and that is solution 2. Now these two solutions are mixed equal amount. Once they are mixed, solution 1 and solution 2 are mixed, then we are taking it to the nephrometer tube, and nephrometer tube is placed in nephrometer. Now calibrate the nephrometer and we place it as a 0. This place the sample set with distilled water in nephrometer, set the reading to 0. So once we have taken all these two, we should set it to 0, and then we should take 100, which was already known, and set it to 100. Then we can take 2 samples, 4 samples, 5 samples, as many as samples you want to take, water samples, and then you can find out the turbidity of that water sample. So here we have taken 2 samples and observed that, because we have already calibrated our nephrometer. And once we have done it, there is no chance that. So now, so far we have seen BOH, total solids, turbidity, dissolved oxygen, and BOD. Today's last one will be chemical oxygen demand. We will go for COD measurement. And COD measurement is also very important, like BOD, that was a biological oxygen demand and chemical oxygen demand. Chemical oxygen demand is generally coming out from the industries. A lot more industries are using chemicals. Iron industry, sugar industry, textile industry, any industry you talk of, they are using a lot of chemicals. And these chemicals are coming in wastewater through drain, either through industrial drain or through municipal drain. And once they are coming, they are polluting the whole river system. And it is very, very important for my students, my engineers, to measure BOD is okay, but COD is very important. Okay, so now the theory. The chemical oxygen demand is a measurement of the amount of material that can be oxidized in the presence of a strong chemical oxidizing agent. So what really we are saying? It is a measurement of the amount of material which can, like BOD is oxidized, it is organic, and this is a chemical. So it is oxidized by chemical oxidizing agent, and that is oxidized. BOD is oxidized only by oxygen, right? We have seen several in wastewater. It is often used, what COD is often used as a measurement of pollutant in wastewater and natural waters. Why? Because lot of chemicals are coming up, and these chemicals are disposed or from the municipal drains into the river. So other related analytical values are total oxygen demand, biochemical oxygen demand, not biological, total organic carbon TOC. So they are also the part of BOD. Other related analytical values are TOD, TOC, or biochemical oxygen demand. Right? Now, BOD is a measure of oxygen consumed by microorganisms. Condition we have already seen. TOC is a measure of organic carbon in a sample, and TOD is a measure of amount of oxygen consumed by all elements in the sample after complete oxidation. Three things: TOD, BOD, TOC, in addition to CO2. But here we are talking only about the CO2, right? Some organic material, cellulose, resist biodegradation along with pesticides, pyridines, some nitrogenous, heterocyclic, and polychlorinated biphenyl, which are toxic to microorganisms. These materials are oxidized in COD text. Very interesting line. You see, फिनाइल हम लोग यूज करते हैं घर में पोछा लगाने में, है ना? Cellulose we are using making glucose. Then pesticide in agricultural area we are putting lot of pesticides. हमारा पेस्टिसाइड मर जाएगा, कीड़ा मर जाएगा तो फूड अच्छा होगा. But you are and me and you and all are eating pesticide also. Chemicals also with the food. Pyridine, some nitrogenous heterocyclic, nitrogen NPK, we are putting खाद, NPK डालते हैं हम लोग, chemical. So these chemicals are not oxidized by oxygen, and these are in COD test only. So we are using some chemical oxidizing agent to oxidize these things. Biological तो हो जाता है, human excrete तो हो जाता है ऑक्सीजन से, but these things which we are eating, आप आलू खाते हैं, आलू गोभी की सब्जी बड़ा टेस्टी है, but it is having lot of pesticides and nitrogen NPK, phenyl. These are all there, and that can be removed only by COD test. Oxidized हो गया, that is it becomes मिट्टी. A strong
क्या राने हाँ क्या हुआ बोलो सब ठीक है ना ओह आज ठीक मूड लगा फर्स्ट दिन है फ्रस्ट्रेटेड हो गए थे बहुत दिन से छूट गया था ठीक है लग दिला हो दिया